You're welcome to Wizkid. Wizkid doesn't refer to the Nigerian artists, but it is the segment where we delve into pertinent social issues. What are we talking about today? Today, we are discussing youth unemployment in Ghana. Let me give you some stats, some statistics. Do you know that according to the United Nations, the UN, in 2017, 50% of graduates are unemployed in the whole of Africa? Yes. And then you also know that, according to Kelvin Balogun, he is the president of Coca-Cola, that beverage, in East, Central, and West Africa. He says that almost half of the 10 million graduates, that are churned out of the universities. There are about 600 universities in Africa. About 10 million of them that are churned out, stay home, jobless. So graduates here refers to people who go to the colleges of education. So in Ghana, colleges of education, nurses training, the universities, etc. And then the polytechnics. Right. Now we call them technical universities. So the whole of Africa, 10 million of graduates stay at home. But let's understand some terms. What's the meaning of the word unemployment? Unemployment. When you are not employed, what does it mean? It refers to individuals who are employable and are seeking for jobs but are unable to get. They have all the skills. They write letters upon letters. They comb whole city, go to companies, organizations, institutions, departments, and they don't get jobs. So let's focus on Ghana now, from Africa. In Ghana, the unemployment rate is 4.33%. So in 2019, the unemployment rate in Ghana was approximately 4.33%, and of the total labor force. Now, let's compare our figure in Ghana to that of North Africa. As for the North Africans, the unemployment rate is 25%, but that is even greater. It is even greater. It's less compared to Botswana, the Republic of Congo, Senegal, among others. Now, the unemployment rate means the percentage of a country's labor force that are without jobs but are available to work and are seeking employment. How did all these things start in Ghana? 10 years ago, the government of Ghana placed a ban, on the recruitment of employees. That's how it all started. The public sector would not employ graduates. That was the policy. And it was measures taken by the government to stabilize and effectively manage the public wage bill. So the embargo has, over the years, increased, the problem. So the numbers escalated. Now, the sectors that are most affected are the health and the educational, sectors. So nurses and teachers who finish their courses, their training in school, are unable to get jobs in the government sector. That explains the reason why there are a lot of nurses. You see, there's a long queue. There are a lot of nurses staying at home, trained nurses, from government institutions, and including the private, as well as teachers. So now they have to do national service. That wasn't the norm. That wasn't the practice. What causes unemployment? What are the causes of unemployment? Number one is our educational system. Yes. We learn by rote in our schools. That is it. So at the end of the day, the curriculum is designed to employ us, to make us employable rather than deploying us. Compare Ghana to other countries, especially in Europe and Asia and even America. Have you ever seen a Chinese in Africa working for a company, like going about looking for jobs? They have been deployed When they must work for you, they will be there temporarily, like the way we do internships in Ghana or attachments, you know, to acquire skills, to learn the terrain. You know, Africa is a different terrain from their countries. So they learn it and then create their own jobs and employ you. Let me give you examples. Go to Spintex Road and the best parts of the city. That is where these people live. And we work for them and they pay us paltry. I mean, it is nothing to talk. They pay you as little as 300 Ghana cedis, 250 Ghana cedis for 30 days, working for 30 days. That is very bad. That is very terrible. So it's the educational system. Now, the youth also have this white collar mentality. We don't like the blue collar jobs. We don't want to work on the field. We don't want to you know, do jobs like masonry, carpentry, you know, fixing up, creating beads, manufacturing and then creating beads and shirts and all of that. We don't want to till the land. We don't want to work with our hands. We prefer to dress in suit and tie and then sit in offices. And that mentality is one of the factors. Then there is also the corruption and the fund embezzlement. Yeah, some public officials immensely, you know, their attitude contributes to the high rate of unemployment in Ghana. They are not honest. They use public funds for their personal gains. You know, the funds that are meant for development purposes in various economic sectors end up in their pockets. And then there is this nepotism, where this phenomenon of whom you know or who knows you works a great deal in this country. So square pegs end up putting square pegs in round holes. And people who really qualify for the jobs, other Ghanaians who have the skill and can really deliver on the job, are left there lying jobless, broke and poor. It is very terrible. Now, I came across an interview that was granted by the United Nations Climate Coordinator, Dr. Richard Munang. You know, he's a big boy. He has some solutions to offer. Let's listen to Dr. Richard Munang.
If you look across the entire African continent today, the focus has been on material resources rather than on people. And because it's been on material resources, that has been a misconception. Put people at the center of Africa's development. Because if you ignore people and only focus on material, right, you'll be missing the bigger point, because the skills, the talents, especially of the young people, who today constitute 60% of the entire African population. So we're talking roughly about 720 million energetic, vibrant, talented young people. Right. So African challenges are disguised opportunities that can actually be solved by Africans themselves in partnerships with others. We have 240 million citizens going to bed hungry in a continent that has 65% of uncultivated arable land. 60% of that youthful population is unemployed.
A young workforce.
Absolutely.
Then where is the disconnect? Where is the disconnect? What is the problem with Africa? Is it her leadership?
Answer is very simple. The continent needs to recognize that the solutions to her problems lies with the people. The youthful population in the continent today, they are quite very entrepreneurial.
They are.
They are tech savvy. That means that Africa doesn't lack innovations. It also means that Africa doesn't lack ideas. What I call the 5 I's. So ideas, innovations, Africa have got. But the 3 remaining I's is what Africa is lacking, which has actually been the Achilles of the continent. That is incentives. Incentives doesn't necessarily mean money, but incentives also means inspiration. How do you inspire someone? How do you get someone to be passionate about something so that he or she can find a purpose to do something, because money cannot buy passion. Like that's the 4th I is implementation. Implementation in the continent has been a big problem. The last part, and the I, is the continent needs to be able to have institutions that work with each and everyone, and those institutions should actually be fit for purpose. So if you can be able to address incentives by helping people to find their passion, by recognizing that each and everyone is important, but when you put all this in its entirety, it means that it is not necessarily the level of education that matters, but you need to be inspired. You need to be guided in a structured way. And
all right, so that was Dr. Richard Munang, the climate change coordinator for the United Nations in Cameroon. He was on KTN Kenya and granted that interview. Yes, so you know, he has communicated, or he has suggested some very important solutions to you know, graduates unemployment. If the government will not employ us, we are youths, we are strong, we are skillful, we are intelligent, we are smart. We can he speaks about, or he talks about innovative volunteerism. That means that you have a skill, I have a skill. Maybe I have a skill of communication. You know, I can do presentation, I can write concepts, etc. I can host shows. You too, you can drive. Somebody can also write. Somebody can do. I mean, we are all skillful. So let's bring our skills together innovatively, and then turn it into business, teamwork. The attitude of pulling down, envy, backbiting, you know, all these negativities, it's low energy. They are not necessary. We are in the 21st century. We have a lot of information, you know, that we can access. We use smart devices. We are sitting at home broke. There are nurses at home. There are teachers at home. There are people who studied chemistry and physics and all of that, you know, sitting at home, jobless. And you are broke. You must pay rent. You have to put food on the table. What are we doing? We are youths. I mean, we were talking about Jerry John Rawlings, but let me cite him as an example. He was only 32 years when he ruled Ghana. He started ruling Ghana for 19 years. A young man like that. You see, when you are in your prime, that is when you are so creative. That is when you can deliver. That is when your creativity can, I mean, you can fall on your creativity to solve, I mean, problems in society. There are a lot of problems here in Ghana, in Africa. Sanitation, flooding, and fire. You know, we can come together, youth. You can come to Truth TV and look for Big Papa. You know, so that we bring our innovation to bear and stop the joblessness. We don't need to travel outside. Now there is even COVID-19. You know, and so there is limitation to movement. We can't bugger. We can't go to US. We can't go to Europe. We can't go to Asia. You understand? There are a lot of problems that we can look at and find solutions to, and then put money into our pockets as well. And there should be curriculum change in our institutions. They should be more practical. Our curricula, from senior high school and even through to the universities, especially the public universities, are archaic. Yes, they are designed for the industrial age. We are in the 21st century. We use smart devices, and so we should be abreast of the time. We should be there should be dynamism. Our scholars, I mean, people in the educational sector, the educationists, or the what do you even call them? You know, they should come together. Researchers and all should sit and rework the curriculum so that we can be equipped with the adequate skills that can solve the problems in Ghana, in Africa, in West Africa, because we have similar problems. There's flooding in Ghana, there's flooding in Cameroon, there's flooding in Nigeria, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Sierra Leone. The youth unemployment is all over in Africa, in West Africa. Then there should also be intensive training on vocation. There should be vocational training in our schools. We should build more technical universities and vocational institutions so that we can acquire skills. When I was in the junior high school, we learned pre-technical skills. We didn't only draw. These days, they draw only border lines and the outline of, objects. Back in school, I learned how to manufacture stool, the kitchen stool, and money box. I can still do it. I can still create it. But these days, we don't have that anymore. And it's about time. ICT, let's invest in ICT. Let a lot of people learn how to use, build apps. When you go to Kenya, you go to Uganda, when you compare the IT skills of the youth in East Africa and Southern Africa to that of West Africans, Ghana, we dey back, we don't know IT cry, and that is the way, because that is the age in which we are. All right, so Mr. Dr. Richard Munanga has given us the solutions. We know all of this, and when we put all this into practice, what do we get? The outcome is that the brain drain will reduce. Our intellectuals will stop moving. The youth will stop moving from Ghana to Europe, and then when the government also makes good policies that revolve around the firms, households, etc., in order to take the youth unemployment successively, the unemployment rate will reduce. Yeah, so if governments can give credits at a lower rate to organizations or companies, they can have money to employ more people, so that they can also put some money into their pockets. And there should monitoring. The government should, when the credits are given out to individuals, people who are talented. Not all of us can create businesses. There are some people who can mobilize people and put up and establish organizations, right? So if they are credited, but they don't have money, if they are giving some money at a reduced rate and given a time that, create jobs, employ about 100 people every month, so that they can also survive, especially in the city, because they must put food on the table, that will be a good thing. All right, so that's it for Wizkid.